I am in my backyard. And I actually remember being at my backyard at my first supportive housing when I lived in Taylor. And then I remember the backyard when I lived at the Manor Residential. Then I look at the backyard of the old AFC home that I was in. So, my first unlicensed supportive housing, things were supposed to be okay. But sometimes people feel they can talk to you in a negative way and you can't talk back. But those were my mistakes because I did get upset and got angry, said things, but I could have handled things differently. So under that point, I started to be more responsible as I started therapy, started working on my anger management, went from 24-hour staffing to choosing to have 7 hours a day. Choosing to have 7 hours a day. This whole group home concept that people we may be in or trying to get out, it's not that hard. I think that we use the group home word so much that we just can't even push away and say, come to my house. When I engage with people, I usually say, yeah, I live in that group home. But being independent and responsible, I'm understanding, this is my house and I pay rent with my friend. And so this whole group home thing, having to have staff come in an appropriate time, you having for people to be yelled at about house dishes, for people to have your guardian communicate with your manager and not you. That's another thing that we look at this whole group home life is that guardianship. Guardianship is the biggest issue when it comes to people making their own decisions. I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell you a story. Always wanted to dye my hair. Always wanted to do it. Finally didn't like it, so I did it. So I had to get permission from my guardian to dye my hair. That was crazy. But I made a goal to be my personal guardianship. Then I had the ability to do so much. So I want you to know, if you're in a group home or your home, and if you're dealing with guardianship issues, you can fix them. My new platform is just being me. So if you want to do something, you can't. Because guardianship restricts people from doing what they want to do. I lived in a bad situation to where I didn't have food, to where my roommate was beating me up, and, couldn't move. I couldn't move. But there was a situation where I was personal guardianship, wasn't working, packed my stuff up, and I moved. So many people could do better if they were to move. But in guardianship, we know that guardians have to work with specific providers to keep people in the bareness of their safety. Guardianship has held me back, and my support team has said it makes no sense. But guess what? Working on it, I am now my own guardian. My team supported me. My guardianship had expired, and my support team said, I'm good. So nobody filed for guardianship because I'm independent. So this is what life is about. I did this. Anybody can do this. I looked at my best friend, two best friends from the manor, won't say their names, but they're my best friends. And we are independent because we like our values. We care about making our decisions. We care about what we do. So, just like to be a little more real, It makes no sense to be in a situation to where you're basically wanting to do something and you're normally to doing it, and then people are saying you have to call your guardian. And this could be on a Friday, and you want to do it on Saturday, but the guardian will take 2 to 4 weeks to respond. That is not a guardian helping somebody with their goals. I mentioned that in a policy meeting the other day because we're working on this guardianship bill that I'm going to lay out and express out, like I said, in order on my social media. I'm going to just be me. So we're going to have this group home guardianship conversation a lot more. If you live in a group home and if you would like to be a part of my group home blog, you can also do that. So that was a good walk, right? The difference about that walk was a couple years ago, couldn't do that. Couldn't walk. Couldn't have a phone. Could not pay for a phone. Couldn't have the key to my house. But I was in a house lease, but I couldn't have the key. So now this is my house, and I got the key. I got a phone. I got Wi-Fi. You guys can do that too. I hope that this platform plan is going to work. I think me being me is going to encourage to others. So I'll holler back at y'all later.